Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm going to be bringing to you guys is a video on how the brand new Umbral system and of course the brand new max gear score of 625 actually work in the January update, or the latest New World update that we'll be seeing towards the end of January here. And of course this stuff is taken from the PTR, but I've kind of worked out some of the values, and I'm also going to be using the website New World database as they have compiled a list of how many shards are needed and that sort of thing. So big shout out to those guys again. I will leave the link in the description below if you guys want to check this out for yourselves. But we're going to jump into it. We're going to talk about how many shards you actually do need to get from, 600 to 625, how that's actually possible, what the fastest way to do it is, and of course any other sources other than the mutated dungeons themselves which actually drop you the shards, so that you can kind of combine the methods and get this the fastest way possible. So before we start today's video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you are dropping a subscribe down below with the notification bell on, as we are getting super close to 12.7k, and of course that 13,000, which is our goal right now. So if you could help me out and support me in doing that, that would be absolutely amazing. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So obviously the brand new mutations are going to be your best way to get these shards. They do give you quite a lot, and the earlier levels not so much as the higher levels by any means. It does go up quite exponentially when you do get to some of these higher tier expeditions or higher mutation levels, however what you want to call that. And sort of when you get to level 7 onwards, you're getting a lot more. And when you hit level 9 onwards, it's just ridiculous. It's double anything before it. So you're getting, 2.6k and above as a minimum. So if you can get up there on a weekly cycle, you're looking very good. Now, obviously, you can get these as well from crafting gear at 600 gear score when you were already 600 expertise on that item. So, for example, if you crafted a great axe that was gear score 600, when you already had expertise at 600 for that item, it will give you some Umbral Shards from that as well. And then on top of this, opening Gypsum casts for anything that you have an expertise of 600 or above for will also give you Gypsum. So moving into that a little bit more with the Gypsum casts, I'm going to show you guys on screen here. You'll be able to see, again, this is New World database, so it will be linked below for anybody who wants to check it out. But you guys will be able to see Gypsum casts give you it, and per level, it depends what your expertise level is at. So every time you increase something with Umbral Shards, you will see as you go further up, you get more and more and more. And of course, as you go right down here, we're going to skip to the good bit, which is, of course, basically 620 plus is where you want to be at to be getting the most out of these. And yeah, of course, if you do get something to 625, then you are able to get 200 every time you make a cast for that item. Ideally, of course, you can get a few per day. So once you get a full set, you'll be able to easily get your amulets, your jewelry, that kind of stuff done, weapons done, etc. But when you do focus on one piece, if you focus on one thing to 625 first, you will be able to get more Umbral Shards per time that you cast that. So obviously there's only one cast per day allowed with the Gypsum system, but it does mean the more the higher you get with something, the more you get back. And of course you can see up until around about 620 where you start getting 80, you're getting very minimal. It's more worth just doing an expedition run and trying to, get an improved time, because you're going to get pretty much more than 27. 27, I think, is what you get for the first mutation level. And then after that, you're going up and up and up. So you're certainly going to want to make sure that you're doing that and you're getting on top of, what it's actually going to be able to get these quicker. And like I said there, the crafting does play a part in this as well. You'll see that, again, relative of the expertise level you have. I'll show you guys on screen. When you have an expertise level with the item, every single time you craft one, like I said, you will get a shards for that. And again, as soon as you get to 610, it starts being much more worth it. But again, if you craft something at 625, that is going to be your biggest. But again, these don't give you a huge amount up until you get to 622 plus. Once you get to 622, you get 50, and then 60 on 623. 624, you get 70, and then 625, you get 85. So if you are going to be crafting your way for some Umbral Shards, you want to be getting up to at least 621 on a gear score of something that you can craft. So personally, for me, I would be focusing on something that I can craft and then make the Gypsum cast based around that as well, because obviously that gives me the double whammy at the best amount that you can get, or the most that you can get from one activity. Now, the gameplay you guys are seeing in the background today is actually taken from the Dynasty Expedition. This is the first level of mutation, and it's actually pretty challenging for those of you that haven't tried it out. It is actually quite hard, so you will see a few deaths, a few downs, that sort of thing. These are pretty difficult, but they are very fun, and when you get a good group together that knows what they're doing, they're organised, it's actually a lot of fun to run these through. So I've been really enjoying doing these. I did some on stream yesterday. For any of you that aren't following me on Twitch, it is linked in the description down below, and it is up on the screen for you guys now. It is twitch.tv/Invin with 3 N's on the end, so go ahead, drop me a follow over there if you do want to be involved in the streams. It's a good laugh, and we do see some interesting plays, shall we we say, with some of this content. So it's good fun, and we've been enjoying playing those as well. But basically, as you progress through the mutated expeditions, the higher levels you get to, you will get more. So what I'm going to do now is throw this again up on the screen for you guys so you can see what is going on. So with this, you guys will be able to see that the mutation levels are on this left column here, and then bronze, silver, and gold are the tiers that you can get once you do complete the mutated expedition. Now, these are based on how many mobs you've killed inside it, how many of the named mobs you've killed. So something like Dynasty that you see in the gameplay just before, it's pretty easy to kill them all because you have to progress. But places like Genesis, where you can go back and choose optionally whether to kill certain mobs or not, you're going to get more points if you do that. But it is also then timed, and you also lose points for every time you do a respawn. So it's not a down, it's a full respawn. And of course, team wipes lose you a massive amount of points and time, so you really want to avoid those, which is why I was making a point there about needing a good team for it. Now, in terms of what you get per level then, first level you get 27 for a bronze, 33 for a silver, and 40 for a gold. Pretty nondescript. You can get a few things up to that 605, 608-ish level. If you do that a couple of times, even if you're just getting the bronze, you can get a few extra gear score levels out of that, or your expertise up and such from that. And then, of course, once you do go down to level 2, you're looking at a little bit more than that, about a third more again. And then again, number 3, similar. Then number 4, we start to get up to quite a bit. We're over the 100 mark if you get above silver, which is good. And you'll see as you go up to them 5, these ones are kind of grouped up. So the first 2 are the same difficulty, then 3, 4, and 5 are the same difficulty. The difference in the difficulty is your first couple, you just get the mutation. So Hellfire, for example, was the Dynasty one this week, but there's Frost, Nature, and Void variants as well. Then by the second one, you also get enemy buffs, so they'll have extra health, they'll do extra damage, etc. And then when you get up to this 30 here, which is 7 and above, so 7 and 8, these guys have also curses on the player, so it'll be stuff like when you've got the lowest HP, randomly you will catch fire in an AoE environment, or chain fire, something like that. And then when you get to 9 and 10, you have 2 curses, so as well as the chain fire, you'll also get something which gives everybody a debuff that only the person with the active chain fire can cleanse. So you can see how these stack up and get pretty difficult very, very quickly. And as you can see, the rewards do reflect that. So if you actually manage to get to mutation level 7, which is no small feat by any means, but getting up there, you're well into the thousands then. You do want to get to at least 6, I would say, per week if you are trying to graph these out, because it jumps from 200 at gold to 533 at bronze. So they are really, really good. You are going to want to make sure you get on those. And as I said, that's when you start to hit 6, 7, 8. The first curses, and then 9 and 10 the elites to get the second curses. And again, respect of this, 9 does do a huge jump again from 2000 at gold on tier 8. To going up to tier 9, you get 2.6 on the bronze, and with that you can get something all the way up to a full 625 gear set just from getting a bronze. So if you do manage to get there one week, and you know you're able to run that dungeon, even if you're just getting bronze, you're just managing to finish it but not getting silver or gold, that is absolutely fine, because you will be getting a lot of these Umbral Shards, which is what you want to be doing, you know, to max it out. You do need 2,500 in order to get something from 600 to 625, so just getting the bronze on that will allow you to do that in one run, which is really, really good. And then of course, if you are able to get silver or gold, or indeed even get to the nutty level 10 stuff, where you're getting 4k per bronze, 5k for a silver, and 6k for a gold, you're going to be doing your full set in 2-3 runs if you are able to get to that level, and at least passing the bronze ones. But it is pretty crazy. They are very, very difficult from what I've seen so far. Obviously, in PTR, they gave you 600 gear, but it's not necessarily like you haven't got your weapon perks that you want. You haven't got all of the right stats, maybe. You haven't maybe also got, you know, the right sort of kind of ability perks, that sort of thing, just regular perks that you get on your gear. So it's not a fine-tuned set, but it is definitely good stuff, and it is still very, very challenging. So once this comes to live, obviously I'll be giving it a good go, giving you guys all the lowdown on how you can do it the fastest and such, but these are going to be pretty difficult. So like I said there, you do need 2,500 to get to that 625. I'll show you guys the graph that the newer database guys have put up as well. It shows you from gear score 600, and then to get to 601 you need 1, to get to 602 you need 2, etc. And as you can see, it then jumps up to 10 at 607, and then 15, 20, and you can see it goes up pretty steeply. And then once we get to 615, which costs 90, to get to 616, it's 125, 175, etc. You guys can see this on screen. And then the next biggest jump is, of course, when you get from 619 to 620, it costs you 450, and then 620 plus, you're on to 900, then 1,000, then 1.4, 1.9, and eventually 2.5. So that is your total needed to get to the next levels. With that, it is going to take a long time to be able to craft it up, like I said, until you get to that tier 9 and 10, which is probably not going to be accessible to most people for a long time until you've got some of the new craft mods and new weapon attunement perks. So this isn't something that's going to be easy. It is going to take a while to grind it up, but I do think that's a good thing because from what I can see, it does give a good stat boost to the armor, a good damage boost to the weapons when you do increase the gear score. So you don't want it to be too readily available for everybody, otherwise there'll be a huge influx in those players that have got the economy to just absolutely smash out these keys. Now, you are going to need economy because it does enable you to craft 1 mutation key per week, and then after that you need 10,000 faction points and 1,000 gold per purchase from the faction shop, so you are able to get multiple per week via that method, but it is fairly costly and will require you to be doing those faction missions. So if you're not pushing territories, you're going to need to be starting. So it does eventually rack up to be quite a lot, and I'll scroll back down to the menu so you guys can see, how much you get per rewards. But this is pretty cool, and it is going to be something that I've had a lot of fun with so far, and I think it is going to be very fun and challenging to get to those higher tiers, which is something that a lot of us have wanted for a long while now. So hopefully that has cleared it up for you guys, explained to you, how the Umbral system works, the ways you can get the resources, and of course how you can get the most from the expedition mutations themselves. Then eventually there as well, how much it actually costs per level to actually get yourself up to that 625 gear score, which is the new maximum. So it's looking like it's going to be a pretty hefty grind, but something that should be quite fun, hopefully. But it remains to be seen. Obviously, if we get a Hellfire on Genesis, so they're resistant to fire but also weak to fire, it's going to be a rough one. So we'll see how it goes and progresses through the systems, but I am looking forward to it at this point, and it should be a nice little extra addition for those of us that want to grind the end game. We've got something we can work towards now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do be sure to leave me a like down below, as it really does help to support me and my content here on YouTube. If you are new to the channel, like I mentioned at the beginning of today's video, please do make sure that you drop a subscribe down below, as we are pushing very close to that 13k now, which would be amazing if you guys could help me to reach that goal. Other than that, guys, make sure you are following the Twitch. Like I mentioned, we do go live there most days. We're testing out PTR stuff at the moment, but we're also doing wars, we're doing grinding on the live server, so make sure you get involved in that. It'd be awesome to have you guys over there as well. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, thank you for your time, and I will catch you again tomorrow with another upload. Take care, guys, and peace.